That is your worship. Usually what we think, I like this, that's why I eat. There comes that I in between, Remove that. Remove that I. When that I is absent, then what happens? Automatically it becomes the worship of God. It becomes the worship of God. See the tremendous feeling. That's what he points out. Pujate Vishayopabogarajana Nidra Samadhisthiti. When I lie down, it is Samadhisthiti. Then Sanchara Parayo Pradakshana Vidhi. So through my feet when I walk, it is the Pradakshana Vidhi. Going around the temple. Remember, Pradakshina. So for getting punya, we do the Pradakshina. To develop bhakti, we do the Pradakshina. And what is the Pradakshina? Whatever that travel I do, wherever I am walking, I am doing that Pradakshina. Sanchara Padayo Pradakshina Vidhi. Stotrani Sarvagiro. Whatever I speak is your stotra. Whatever I speak is your stotra. So now, this is tremendous aspect that we have to understand. Walk that we utter, that is Saraswati. That is Saraswati. Now, if we really understand this, we never utter bad words. That walk is Vani. Vani is Saraswati. If we really understand this, then we never utter bad words. So here Shankaracharya says that whatever I utter is your stotra, is your praise. Stotrani sarvagiro yadyat dharma karomi tattadakilam shambhotavaradhanam. Whatever work I do, whatever action I perform, all of them tava aradhana. It's your worship, nothing else but your worship. It's only your worship. See the tremendous devotion. See the tremendous act. That is what Shankaracharya showed through his life. That is how he lived all his life. And that's why you will find whatever he uttered became stotras. You have collected them. And whatever he wrote, they became the bhashyas. Even now we study years together. And wherever he went, those places they became tirthakshetras. They have become tirthakshetras. So that's the kind of personality he was, because constantly he was worshipping God. And that God was not somewhere in the sky, but he was within him. Atma, Tvam, you are there inside me, in the form of the self, in the form of the Atma, you are there. And whatever I do is an offering to you, is a worship of you. See the tremendous. So that is what Narada also points out. Tadarpita Akila Acharata. How to practice that? That is what Shankaracharya explains in this beautiful Stotra Shivamanasa Puja. Then further when we proceed, about the sadhana, a devotee, what a devotee should do, what a devotee should not do. All these things, Narada also points out. Dussanga sarvateva tyajya. Sarangayita ime sanga samudrayante. Dussanga, the company of the bad people. That should be, you have to give up that sarvata. By all means, it should be given up. What is that? Dussanga, the company of the bad people. That should be given up. Tarangayita apime sangat samudrayante. The reason is that these bad thoughts enter just like one small ripple in the water. But then, Sangha Samudrayante. If you go to the sea, there you will find probably you may make one ripple, but then there are many others. They gather together. Ultimately, it becomes a huge sea and becomes a huge wave. Swami Vivekananda also points out the huge wave that you see in the sea is not just one. Hundreds of waves together has become a huge wave. Hundreds of small waves, that becomes a huge wave. Now, Narada also points out, Tarangayita, in the beginning, it will be in the small form of a ripple. Then, what happens? It's a ripple that becomes a huge sea. That means, when it is in the initial state, you can control it. But when it grows into a huge sea, then of course it starts controlling you. That's how people company of the bad people, when the people get into the bad company, then what happens? They go to such an extent, it's very difficult for them to come back. Why? In the beginning, it was under their control. Say the people who start smoking, going with a friend and for fun, they start smoking one cigarette. And within a year, they get into such a thing that first they started smoking, now smoking has got hold of them. They cannot give. They cannot give. This is what happens because that habit grows in such a way. In the same way, these bad thoughts in the mind, remember in the beginning it is a small one, but then ultimately what happens, it goes beyond control and the man starts committing all kinds of mistakes, the papas. So then, Shankaracharya also points out, remember in his own way, Lakshachrutam che jati chittamisham bahirmukham sanni pate tatastataha pramarata prachuta keli kanduka sopana pantau patito yathatha. Shankaracharya says, one must be extremely careful. Pramada means carelessness. Should be avoided by all means. Shankaracharya points out. Because if you are careless, empty mind is devil's workshop. Automatically all the bad things they enter inside. In this world, if you want to instill a good thought, you have to make conscious effort. And if you want bad thoughts, just be yourself, automatically they come. All the negative thoughts, they keep on entering you. Just open your mind, they come automatically. Empty mind is devil's workshop. But then, to instill a whatever positive thought inside, you have to make conscious effort. Seek the company of the holy people, read good books, chant the name of God. These are all we have to do with effort. So that is why pramada, who don't become careless. That's what Shankara points out. Because if you do that, then what happens? Pramanataha prachuta keli kanduka sopana pantau. The boy was playing at the top of the steps, staircase. There what happens? Pramanataha. By mistake, that ball in his hand that fell down. Then what happens? Sopana pantau patita yathatha. Tuck, 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 one by one, it comes down the step. Before long, it's already in the lowest step and on the floor, that's all. The same way, the mind also falls down, goes down and down. That is why one must be careful. That's what Narada points out. Sorry, Shankaracharya points out here. Otherwise, mind goes down like that. Just remember Sri Ramakrishna's words. Says one must be very careful. Otherwise, when that mind, becomes negative and it goes down, you cannot say. And he gives the example that monument in Calcutta. There he says that I was going and I did not feel that I am going down. But there was a very little inclination. But after some times when we went ahead and covered some distance, then we found that we have come down a long way. Because inclination seems to be very less. But then it goes on and on, and after some distance we have came down so much. The same way the mind also, without our knowledge, it goes down if we are careless. That's what Sri Ramakrishna points out. So now in the same way, here also Shankaracharya points out, one must be careful about the company of the bad people and also about the pramada. Then, when we come to Narada, in the Bhakti Sutra, Narada points out, seek the company of the holy people. So there he points out, Mahat Sangastu Durlabho Agamyo Mogascha. Mahat Sangadi, grace of the great people, the Guru Kripa, is Durlabha, very difficult to get, first of all. Because to get a Mahatma is very difficult. Then Narada points out that Durlabho Agamyo, very difficult to understand. Very difficult to understand the great people. That a person is a Mahatma is a great Mahatma, to understand itself is a difficult thing. Because we go by the external appearances. That's our problem. Then, how do we come to know? We come to know when there is some development in us, when there is some sincerity in us. When there is some sincerity in us. That is why one must be sincere, then only one gets a real guru. So that is why here now the points are very difficult to understand a great man. Durlabho, agamyo, amoghashcha. But somehow if you take shelter at the feet of a great man, amogha, it is going to bear fruit. It never fails. It never fails. Satsanga. And what Shankaracharya says, Shanamapi sajjana sangati reka bhavati bhavarnama taranenauka bhaja govindam govindam bhaja mudamate. Kshanamapi sajjana sangha. A moment of sajjana sangha, the company of the great people, company of a Mahatma, company or the presence of a Guru. Sangati reka bhavati bhavarnama taranenauka. That will become a nauka, boat, for you to cross over the ocean of samsara. That can become a boat for you to cross over the ocean of samsara. Bhavarnava tarane nauka. That is the greatness of the satsanga, satsanga, satsanga. So that is why Shankaracharya again points out in Viveka Chudamani, Durlabam trayane vaitat, Daivanugraha hetutam, Manushyatvam, Mumukshutvam, Mahapurusha Samshaya. Mahapurusha Samshaya. So three things are very difficult to get. And it is available only by God's grace, Daivanugraha. And first one is Manushyatvam, this human body. This human body is a very rare one. Our Shastras say after 84 lakhs of births, we come to the human birth. So now that is the, what you call this, such a rarity. So Manushyatvam, then Mumukshutvam. Now, not all people who are born as human beings think about God, think that we have to develop bhakti. Very few people. So this also is a very rare one, becoming a mumukshu, one who wants to know God, one who wants to pray to God, one who wants to develop devotion to God, mumukshutvam. Then Mahapurusha Samshaya. In the same way, coming in contact with a great man, that also is a very rare one, and it is possible only by the grace of God. By the grace of God. Daivanugraha hetutam. It is possible only by the grace of God. Mahapurusha Samshaya. So this company or the contact with the great men, the great Guru, is possible by the grace of God, and it is very rare to get. That's why one who gets that company of the holy men must utilize it properly, in a proper manner. Then, about those great people, again Shankaracharya points out, Shanta Mahanto Nivasanti Santa Vasantavalloka Hitam Charanta Tirna Swayam Bhima Bhavarnavam Janan Ahetunanyana Pitayantaha. So that great people, Shanta Mahanto Nivasanti Santaha, they live a very Shanta, peaceful life. And what they do? Vasanta Valloka Hitam Charanta. Just like the Vasanta Ratu. What the Vasanta Ratu does, brings joy to everyone. The Vasanta Ratu. Flowers everywhere, and the nature is smiling. That is the Vasanta Ratu. Vasanta Valloka Hitam Charanta. In the same way, wherever these Mahatmas go, there they bring joy to everybody. There they bring joy to everybody. That is the greatness of the Mahatmas. Wherever they go, they bring joy to one and all. That is the greatness of the Mahatmas. So that is why a gentleman made a remark. There are people, great people, the people become happy wherever they go. Wherever they go, the people become very happy. That is the nature of the great people. And again there are other people. People become happy whenever they go. Whenever they leave the place, the people become happy. Anyway, he has gone away, very happy. So that is the difference. The great men, wherever they go, they bring that happiness. Vasanta Valloka Hitam Charantaha. That is the greatness of these great men. Then, Tirnaha Swayam Bhima Bhavaranavam Janan. So, they themselves have crossed over the ocean of the samsara. Ahetuna Anyana Pitarayanta. Ahetuna, without expecting anything. They don't expect anything. So what do? They help others also to cross over this samsara. They help others also. And for that, they do not want any benefit from anybody. Just like the Vasanta Ritu. Vasanta Ritu does not expect anything from anybody. It simply goes on giving the joy to one and all. Remember, we do not give anything to Vasanta Ritu, but we enjoy that Vasanta Ritu. In the same way, the great men, they do not expect, without any expectation, a hetuki. It's called a hetuki. Without any nimitta, without any expectation of return, they go on doing good to others. That is the nature of the great men. That's what Acharya Shankara points out.